net present value, net future value, and internal rate of return. Before we get started with this question, it is worth noting that future value is equal to present value into bracket 1 plus r raised to power t. Present value is the cash paid today or cash received or even invested today. Once it is cash related to today, then it is present value. Future value is a cash paid in future or cash received in future. If you invest the present value today at an interest rate of R for T periods, then you will have the future value. Since we just agreed that future value is equals to present value into bracket 1 plus R raised to power T, you would want to agree with me that the present value will be equals to future value all over 1 plus R raised to power T. This concept is what we will apply under NPV. And this concept is what we would apply under net future value. So let's get started with this question. So we are getting started with NPV. Fortunately for us, the negative 5,000 is a cash today. So we need to discount this 2,000 back to today, 3,000 back to today, and 4,000 back to today. We recently agreed that future value divided by 1 plus the interest rate raised to power t would give us present value. So we can use that concept here. 2,000 is future value. If you are comparing that to today, so discounting this future value back to today, it will be 2,000 divided by 1 plus the discount rate. The discount rate, the interest rate is 0.1. Since we are dealing with end of year 1, it will be raised to power 1. 3,000 is end of year 2. Discounting this back to today will be 3,000 divided by 1 plus 0.1 raised to power 2. 4,000 is end of year 3. So it would be 4,000 divided by 1 plus 0.1 raised to power 3. So if you add this plus this plus this plus this, then I expect you to get this. Moving on to net future value. So here we need to compound to the future. This figure is in year 0. We need to compound to end of year 3. That's for 3 years. Recall that we agreed that future value is equals to present value into bracket 1 plus R raised to power T. So for this, it would be negative 5,000 into bracket 1 plus R. Our R remains 10%, which is 0.1 raised to power 3 because we are compounding for 3 years. Then plus, this is 2,000. 2,000 into bracket 1 plus R. That's 0.1, but now we are compounding for 2 years. Then plus 3,000 into bracket 1 plus R, which is 0.1, but we are compounding here for 1 year, then plus 4,000. For completion's sake, it will be plus 4,000 times 1 plus 0.1, but raised to power 0. The whole of this would be 1. So if you add all of these together, then I expect you to get this. Moving on to internal rate of return. Internal rate of return is the discount rate that forces the present value of cash inflows. These are all inflows, they are positive figures, to be equal to the present value of cash outflows. So here, the present value of cash outflows, there's just one cash outflow, which is this, will be equal to the present value of cash inflow. So I can rewrite this as present value of cash inflow minus the present value of cash outflow should be equal to 0. So there's just one outflow, which is 5,000. So if that is the case, it will be 5,000 divided by 1 plus the discount rate raised to power 0, because we are discounting this 5,000 back to today. Fortunately, the figure is today's figure. Then year 1 will be discounted back to today, but we would be raising to power of 1. Year 2 figure will be discounted back to today, but we would raise to power of 2. And year 3 figure will be discounted back to today, but we would raise to power of 3. So this is the 5,000, the minus 5,000 being discounted back to today using the internal rate of return, or we could just say discount rate, but it will be raised to power 0. Then 2,000 being discounted back to today, but raised to power 1. So the whole of this, we expect it to be equal to 0. So if you solve for R, I expect it to get this. Most of the time, we solve for R if you want to do it manually using trial and error. But that does not matter to us here. What matters to us here is that we can easily use our financial calculator to solve for this. Payback periods and discounted payback periods. So let us compute payback period. Payback period is the time it takes for an investment to recover its initial cost from its cash inflows. So let's get started with the computation. You invested 5,000 in year 0, but fortunately at the end of year 2, you have gotten a total amount of $5,000. Let's assume that the currency is in dollars. So you've gotten 5,000 back at the end of year 2. You got 2,000 inflow end of year 1, then you got 3,000 inflow end of year 2. So fortunately for you, you recovered your money back at the end of year 2. So we can deduce that the payback period will obviously be 2 years. What is going on in this column? Cumulative cash flow for year 0, the cumulative cash flow is negative 5,000 because you only invested 5,000 in year 0. In year 1, if you add these two together, that's the figures in year 0 and 1, you should have negative 3,000. At the end of year 2, if you add the whole of these together, then you should have 0. So you recovered what you invested at the end of year 2. Moving on to discounted payback period. Discounted payback period is different from payback period because discounted payback period takes into cognizance time value of money. 2,000 in year 1 is not the same thing as 2,000 in year 0. So as far as discounted payback period is concerned, the 2,000 will be discounted back to today. Discounting it back to today will be 2,000 divided by 1 plus the discount rate here, which is 0.1 raised to power 1, and you should have this. So you can discount the figures in year 2 and the figures in year 3. We want to recover this 5,000 back. If you add these two together, what do we have? Do we have all our money recovered? Let's see. Adding these two together, I have positive 4,297.52. 5,000 was invested in year 0. So we still have negative 702.48 left, and that amount can be recovered between end of year 2 and end of year 3. Fortunately for us, between end of year 2 and end of year 3, how much was generated as inflow? 3004.51. So this remaining amount can be recovered just few months into, or I could say few months after year 2. So it is year 2, the payback period will be year 2, or we could say 2 years plus 702.48, that's this amount, divided by the whole of what was generated in this period, which is 3004.51. So if you solve for that, you should have 2.23 years. As far as this question is concerned, we should agree with all of these answers by now. Our focus on this slide is on how to use our financial calculator to solve for all of this. So let's get started. So the first thing you need to do, the first step, is to press cash flow. This is cash flow here. Then you press second function. This is second function. You are pressing the second function to access this clear work. So you press second function and this. Then I expect this to be displayed on the face of your financial calculator. Now let's get started with the first cash flow here and outflow obviously in year 0. So you will press 5,000. That's this. Because there's a negative sign in front of this 5,000, you will have to press plus or minus. Please do not forget enter, because if you forget enter, this number will not be locked in as your cash flow in year 0. Then moving on to year 1, you would press arrow down. This is arrow down. Then 2,000. Fortunately for us, it's a positive figure. If it was a negative figure, after 2,000, you will have pressed this again. But we are fortunate here, so it's just 2,000. Then enter. Then you press arrow down twice. Now you are on the second year. On the second year figure, the second year figure is 3,000. So you would press 3,000, then enter. Then you press 2 arrow down. This is the arrow down twice. You will press 4,000. Because in year 3, we have 4,000 cash flow, then enter. And afterwards, you would press NPV. This is NPV here. The discount rate is 10%. The interest rate is 10%. So you press NPV, then 10. That's 1 and 0. Then enter. Then you press arrow down again and compute. This is compute. Then you have your NPV computed. You press arrow down again, which is this. Then you press compute. You have your net future value computed. Then you press arrow down again and compute. You have your payback period computed. Then you press arrow down again and compute. You have your discounted payback period computed. Now that we're interested in IRR, then you need to press IRR, then compute again, and you will have your IRR computed. Our aim for this particular question is to compute NPV, IRR, net future value, payback period, and discounted payback period. So let's get started. Since we will be dealing with cash flows, so our first step is to press cash flow, that's CF. The next step is for us to clear all the cash flows that we've done in the past. So to clear our work relating to all the cash flows we've done in the past, we will have to press second function, then clear work. So we have that done. Now let's get started with year zero cash flow. Year zero cash flow is 5,000. To be more specific, negative 5,000. So I'll press 5,000. Then plus or minus, because I need a negative sign in front of 5,000. So let us not forget enter. So I have to press enter. So I have the number locked in as year zero cash flow. So the next step is to press arrow down. This is cash flow in year one. Cash flow in year one from this question, from what I can see here, is 2,000 plus 2,000 to be more specific. So I'll press 2,000, then enter to log that in, then arrow down again. So this is frequency. The 2,000 appears just once, so I do not have to change this. I can press enter or arrow down, anyone is fine, because this one implies that we have just one frequency for the 2000. The 2000 appears just once, so if you want to press enter, it's fine. But after the enter, you have to press arrow down. But a faster way, since you have the one here already, is just for you to press arrow down. So now I'm on cash flow for year two. My cash flow in year two is 3,000 from what I can see here. So let me press 3,000. Then enter to lock in my number. Arrow down again. The frequency for cash flow in year 2 is still 1. So I can go ahead to press arrow down. So now I'm on cash flow in year 3. Cash flow in year 3 is 4,000. So let me press 4,000. So I have 4,000 here. Then I have to press enter. So now I am done with imputing all of the cash flows. The next step is to press NPV. The discount rate, the interest rate is 10%. So I'll press 10. That's 1, 0. Then enter. The next step is now to press arrow down. So I have NPV, but nothing is here yet. So I need to compute it. So I'll press compute. I have my answer for NPV. The next step is to press arrow down. I have my net future value. But unfortunately, it has not been computed. I will have to press compute. So I have my net future value here. I am still not done yet. Arrow down, I have payback period. It's not computed. Can I compute it? Yes, I can by pressing compute. I have it computed already, 2 years. I'm still not done yet. I need the discounted payback period, so I need to press arrow down. It is still not computed. I need to compute it. I will press compute. I have my discounted payback period. So let us also assume that I need IRR. So what can I do? I can press IRR, but unfortunately, It is also not computed. What can I do? What I can easily do is to press compute. So I have it computed here. Let us get started with this particular question. This particular question is a bit peculiar. It is peculiar because in year 1, we have cash flow of plus 4,000. In year 2, we have cash flow of plus 4,000, which is the same as that of year 1. In year 3, we have cash flow of 4,000, which is the same as that of year 1 and year 2. So let's get started. We would use a shorter method to solve this particular question. So let's press cash flow, but we need to clear everything we've done in the past. So to clear it, we will have to press second function, then clear work. So we have that done already. What is the cash flow in year 0? The cash flow in year 0 is negative 5,000. So it is 5,000, then minus, then enter. Then we can press arrow down. So now we need to input year 1 cash flow. Year 1 cash flow is 4,000. So 4,000, then enter, then arrow down again. The frequency is 1. Let's use a shorter method. Since we know that the frequency is 3, let us input 3 as the frequency because the 4,000 appears 3 times. So I'll press enter. So I'm pretty much done with inputting all my cash flows. So the next step is now for me to press NPV. So the interest rate is 10. That's 1, 0, then enter. So I can simply press arrow down and compute so that I have my NPV computed. Then press arrow down again, compute so that I have my net future value computed. Then arrow down, compute so that I have my payback period computed. Then arrow down, discounted payback period is yet to be computed. I will have to press compute. I have that computed. If I am interested in IRR, I will press IRR, then compute. So with this, I have my IRR computed.